Okay, so on my clock now it's 2 minutes after 2. So I think we've waited long enough. Welcome everybody to our webinar today with our partner Owasys. So I'm very happy to have a big part of the Owasys team here with me to speak about how Owasys is handling especially cybersecurity in terms of the new RED and CRA requirements. And I think, that's quite an important topic for probably all of you. The whole webinar is being recorded, and afterwards we will also we will share the link to the video as well as the slides and contacts. So you don't need to take any notes or whatever if you don't want to. We will share this afterwards, and of course we are always happy to help if there's any questions that maybe cannot be asked here within the webinar. We will have some time after the presentation to discuss questions, but no worries to reach out to us afterwards as well. So coming to the webinar, my name is Marius Nicolai. I'm CEO of M2M Germany, and I'm here today with our partners from Owasys, Damaso Orbe, Pedro Pacho, and Miguel Lopez. That will basically do most of the work. I just have some first slides to share, and then hand over to my colleagues from Spain. So what we are going to do today, actually, of course, we will introduce both our. Just have to leave in some new people. We will of course have a short introduction. Who is M2M, who is Owasys, for those who don't know already. Here are some quite well-known names, so for most of you, that is probably nothing new. And I will share some short information about Owasys and the advantage of using Owasys units and how we can work together. And from there on, I will hand over to my colleagues, and we'll be talking about the regulatory requirements for the cybersecurity regulations and the Cyber Resilience Act, and how Owasys is handling that. We will come to the OVA device manager, where we'll also see some live demo how this is actually working, and some general outlook on Owasys strategy on handling these issues. And after that, we will have, as already mentioned, some time for questions and discussion. So just a few words about M2M. Actually, we are a company now 18 years old. We just had our 18th birthday 2 weeks ago, and also our partnership with Owasys, by the way, is 18 years old. So our longest standing partner. What are we doing? We are a specialist for M2M and IoT solutions with wireless technologies. So on the one hand, of course, we do the distribution, obviously for Owasys units, but also for some other hardware as well. But more than that, we are offering services to help our customers to make use of this technology. So not only selling some hardware boxes, but helping our clients to set up digital solutions and use the technology in a right way and in a good manner, basically. So we are like a German SME, 25 people currently, based close to Frankfurt, like right in the middle of Germany. And I think that's for now, that's already enough about us. Coming to the Owasys units, I just tried to sum up a few points what we think are the big advantages of using the units. So first of all, and that is I think one of the biggest most important points for many of our platform, which means you're not bound to any specific vendor or software. You have an open Linux unit that you can just use and develop your own solution based on that. We see many other hardware vendors, especially for telematic solutions, that trying to sell their like locked-in services, and this is completely different here. Furthermore, we are talking about made in Europe hardware, the whole development, and I guess my colleagues Damaso, he will be saying a few words about that. Whole development and production is done in Spain, so yeah. So kind of local European sourcing, and also the ways are quite short when it comes to some yeah, special needs or whatever. So that's a big advantage as well. We are not talking about new or yeah, not proven hardware. The Owasys units. Owasys has been founded in 2003, and since that we have more than 400,000 units in the field. So it's a well-known and proven technology that can be said for sure. It's a very scalable and flexible solution. So on the one hand, we have this big number of units in the field, and Owasys is able to serve bigger projects. But on the other side, it's also easily possible due to the high level of configuration and possible option for a unit that also in lower volumes it's possible to have very individually configurable units. And that makes it also a good solution for not so big numbers. So you don't need to. I mean, we are happy if you buy some hundreds, thousands units, but you can also do projects using the Owasys units for, say, 50 units or something, and we are also quite flexible there. Of course, the units are certified for all or for the most common markets. So Europe, of course, US. Many other local certifications, as well as for the automotive market, the E-Mark, and the OVA 5X now also certified for trains. And last but not least, to also say that there's the quality level is really high. Any unit that leaves the Owasys factory is going through a 100% testing, so to make sure that we don't deliver any yeah, let's say broken or buggy units to the customer. Well, and that's already the last words I'm going to say. It's about how we can work together. What is M2M Germany doing besides delivering hardware, obviously? There's roughly 3 ways that we usually work together. So on one side, you can just basically buy the units, and if you have your own development capabilities, you can just design your solution based on your needs. We help you if you have any questions. We have a support team here in M2M, as well as in Owasys, of course. And if you have any questions, we just support you as it is needed. On the other hand, we can go like a middle way, which means you have your own capacities, but for some things you might want to outsource to us or to Owasys to be a bit quicker, or yeah, just you don't have that big resources, so we can help you designing your solutions and taking over some specific parts of the development for you. And last but not least, to be honest, this is the least common way, because many people choose Owasys because they want to have the freedom of develop their own solutions. But nevertheless, it's also possible that M2M and Owasys help you taking over a whole development for you. So basically, you can also tell us your requirements, and we can help you design the whole solution for you if you want to go that way. So, and that's already all from my side. So I'm happy to hand over to Damaso, and yeah, my colleagues will tell you a few more words about Owasys and coming to the topic CRA.
Thank you very much, Marius, for this great introduction about Owasys. So, and thank you all for attending to this webinar today. So we expect that that you enjoy it, and that we can also transmit you or to show you something about this topic that is right now, for sure, one of the most important. We talk about M2M or IoT, for sure a trending topic when we talk about the security. Okay, so if we go next, if we go a little bit about the Owasys, and to explain you a little bit about Owasys, I think some of the people that is attending to the event, you are already working with Owasys for many years. I see also some other people that is new to the platform, and I see some other people that could be competitors. Always nice to have you here also in the webinar. So just a few words about Owasys. Owasys is a company created in 2002 by a group of engineers coming from Ericsson, where we're developing GSM modules, okay, and selling this to the big and tier ones. And we were being approached by a lot of system integrators, medium and small tier ones and OEM companies, that they want to develop a solution for their machines. They want to monitor the machines, they want to control their machines, but they didn't want to get involved in the hardware design and certification. So with this idea in mind, a group of us, we create Owasys in 2002, okay, and we start developing open systems. So for that, we were thinking, okay, how can we develop a system that is open from the hardware point of view and also open from the software point of view? Okay, so from the hardware point of view, we develop systems that have a wide range of interfaces, wired and wireless. And from the software point of view, since 2002, we start working with Linux. Okay, so within this, with this idea in mind, what Owasys is proposing to the market during the last 23 years is a set of platforms with different microprocessors, where the customer is going to be able to select the hardware they need for each project. And all of these platforms are going to be having Linux in. So the customer is the one that is going to be developing their solution. The idea that Owasys is bringing to the market during these last 23 years is that the customer or partner has the complete control of the hardware. So depending on the project, they will be selecting which platform they need. Okay, they will select from a wide range of microprocessors. Okay, and then they will decide if they want to develop the units in Debian, in Yocto, okay, and which kind of hardware they want to have in. How many CAN interfaces they want, from 1 to 4, if they want to have Ethernet TX or Ethernet T1, if they want to have Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, and the same with a wide range of interfaces. Okay, with this, we have next, we have, let's say, the architecture of the system, okay, is very flexible. So we will be working with the customer, with our partner, to help them select the hardware they need, okay? And we will provide them, as Mario said, even for small quantities of exactly the hardware that they will need. So for one project, they can tell, say, Owasys, we need 50 units with IP40, WAV-CAN, and LTE. So we will be manufacturing this for them. They will develop the software then. And then for a second project, they could say, okay, now we have another project where we need an IP67 unit with a more powerful microprocessor, okay, 4CAN, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and LTE. And this is what they will be getting, okay? The idea behind all of this is that the customer is able to maintain only one piece of software. So all of our units have the same libraries and the same microservices. And using our libraries and our microservices, the customers will be developing their own solution that will be proprietary by them, and they will have the complete control. But when I say this, you say, okay, but if I have to use your libraries or your microservices, the system is not completely open. The customer will be deciding if they want to develop their solution using the libraries, if they want to develop their solution using the microservices, or if they want to develop their own libraries. So let's say, for example, a customer has a solution for fleet management, for excavators, and they say, okay, I'm going to be using the microservice of LTE from Owasys because this saves a lot of time from us. Okay, but for example, for the GPS, I want to do something specific, so I want to go directly into the component. So they will also have the possibility to go directly into the component and develop it, the library by themselves. Okay, so if we go to my last slide, okay, before we go to the important part of this webinar, that is cybersecurity. I mean, just to show you our product range. As you can see here, I mean, we are offering units from IMX6 microprocessors, single core 32-bit, to units with IMX8 with quad-core 64-bit. Okay. Then, as we said before, all of our customers will be able to decide which interfaces, which hardware they want to have in, but all of these units are sharing the same libraries and same microservices. So, we are talking about open Linux systems, and what, let's say, Miguel and Pedro from the technical department are going to explain you now during the webinar can be applicable to all of these families. Okay, all of the platforms that are developed by Owasys, okay, have been already RED certified and are in the process of CRA. And this webinar can be considered, let's say, a basis and some guidelines for all of our platforms. Okay. So thank you very much again, and I will go now to the webinar topic with Miguel Lopez, that is the Owasys CTO. Thank you, Miguel.
Thank you very much, Damaso. So I think you have explained crystal clear what the uniqueness of Owasys is and the products that we are delivering to the market, and the speciality that they are open and our customers, normally system integrators or OEM, close the solution. Okay, so we will try to address this on the webinar, how this can work in order to comply with cybersecurity. So cybersecurity nowadays is a hot topic. It's clear that we all are hearing about it, but also we are suffering attempts of attacks, receiving SMS, receiving emails, phishing emails, trying to get our bank accounts or different kind of attacks. And the IoT devices are not different from us. They are also suffering types of attacks. And that's why the European Union has tried to regulate this, okay? To create a standard within the European Union and mandate which are the minimum requirements for the products to be placed in the market, okay? Which requirements they have to fulfill before they are placed in the market. So now we have RED. RED is not a new directive, it's from 2014, but when it replaced RTTE. But it's true that since 1st of August 2025, this August, there are 3 new articles that are mandatory to fulfill. Okay, so these new articles refer to the improved network resilience, better protection of customers' privacy, and the reduced risk of monetary fraud. Okay, depending on the kind of devices, one of them may apply or not. Okay. So luckily now we have a harmonized standard, which is the EN 18031. I say luckily because in early January, we still did not have it harmonized. And it was a little pain for us as manufacturers and for the rest of the manufacturers in the European Union that we did not have a standard to be able to homologate the product without going through a notified body. So now that the standard is harmonized, we just have to prove fulfillment with this standard, and this is what we have been doing in the last months in order to prove with DECRA, that has been an external party that has helped us with the assessment of the product and the secure demo application that I will explain later, in order to demonstrate the fulfillment of the devices with RED. Okay. And what this implies for us also, we have continuous development resources dedicated for our platforms. It has been since the beginning, but nowadays, also with cybersecurity, we see the need of delivering images every 6 months with updated firmware in order to have latest patches, especially for cybersecurity. So this is now what we have on the table. We were working towards it, we got it, we have passed over RED, and we are now working towards CRA. Okay, CRA is a regulation which is final date with full compliance is 11th of December 2027. And the thing is that still we don't have a harmonized standard there. Okay, but we will go into details later about this. The main difference between RED and CRA is that RED is a product focus, so it's evaluating the product, while CRA is also evaluating the process. Okay, it's not only the product, but the process of how this product has been designed and how the vulnerabilities are treated, how they are reported, etc. So we will jump into it later. So you could say, okay, we are not manufacturers, we are just distributors, or we are importers. Okay, both directives and regulation, RED and CRA, also assigns some tasks, some obligations to importers and distributors. Okay, they need to verify that the products they are importing or distributing are fulfilling the requirements. Okay, the Radio Equipment Directive or the CRA, in order to have someone responsible in the European Union for this. So one thing important also to know is that the regulation does not assign any responsibility to the end user of digital products. Okay, so it's only manufacturers, distributors, importers, the ones that have to take care of this. So checking back to RED. Okay, what is RED? Where we are, we know that our customers are trying to fulfill with all the radio equipment restrictions or requirements, let's say, and RED applies to all radio equipment devices. Okay, Owasys is one of them. We have LTE, we have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and with this, we have to fulfill this regulation. It requires a security by design and by default in the product, a definition of the operational environment and intended use, which is the purpose of the device, how it's going to be installed, where it's going to be used. This is really important to know and to define in the evaluation. It requires also a clear specification of security and network assets and a software bill of materials. Okay, this is to create a vulnerability assessment and make a risk management. Okay, a risk management that needs to be done for the product. Manufacturers must assure compliance with the requirements, and the easiest way to do it, is using the standard EN 18031, 1, 2, or 3. Okay, these are the different parts. As an example of the standard, of the different parts of the standard, we have in the right the access control mechanisms. This has to be defined and secure. Authentication mechanisms. Also, you have to define this for the application. Secure storage mechanisms, secure communication mechanisms, resilience mechanisms. You can see that it's checking all the points regarding cybersecurity. This has to be defined, and it's already defined in our secure demo application. Okay, we will go later into that. Don't be afraid if you are using a Owasys product. We are making part of the work for you. Okay, so you will have a very good basis with well-done documentation to cover all these aspects and to adapt to your specific use case. Network monitoring, traffic control, confidential cryptographic keys, general equipment capabilities, and cryptography. Okay, these are the main points that we have in RED. As I mentioned before, it's a product focus directive. Okay. If we jump into CRA, CRA applies to all digital products. It's a wider scope, okay? With direct or indirect data connection. Even pieces of software are covered by CRA, and they have to be compliant, okay? Requires security by design and by default too. It mandates vulnerability handling and lifecycle updates. Here is defined the product lifecycle, the time that you need to report vulnerabilities, how you need to react. This is defined here in CRA. And manufacturers must maintain a technical file, including the risk assessment. We are providing this for you in the secure demo application. And breaches and exploited vulnerabilities must be reported within 24 hours, okay, to the authorities, in theory to ENISA. So this is still not clear how it's going to be done, but it's needed to be done in the future. So full compliance expected by 2027. Okay, but in 2026, it's also mandatory to be reporting the CVEs or to be having the CVEs reported. So if we look wider into the globe, into other countries, there are also other regulations, other cybersecurity and regulated But CRA mirrors key cybersecurity goals. Okay, secure by design, secure default configurations, life cycle security, updates, vulnerability handling, and it's closely aligned with these other standards. For example, with NIST cybersecurity framework. So if we look into the process, we have to start taking cybersecurity into account during the planning, design, development, production, delivery, and maintenance phases of the product. We have to document all cybersecurity risks, report vulnerabilities and incidents to the authorities, as I was mentioning before, effectively manage vulnerabilities through the product life cycle, provide clear and understandable instructions for the use of the product, and provide security updates for at least 5 years. This is for industrial products, okay? For consumer products, it will be shorter. And this has to be defined by the companies, which is the security update policy, and how we are going to be publishing these updates. So in order to do this, as I mentioned before, still we don't have a harmonized standard, okay? It's not a surprise, still we have some time, and for sure, we are willing that is as soon as possible. But even though IEC 62443 is not still harmonized for this, when we talk with the different labs, with the different companies about experts in cybersecurity, they all are mentioning that this is the best position standard to be harmonized for this, okay? And this is a standard that has been in the market for a while. It's proven, it's well documented, so I think it's we completely agree with these labs that it will be the standard to follow. And if there are regulations in other parts of the world, fulfilling with this standard for sure will demonstrate the assurance that you fulfill with other regulations or with other parts of the world, because basically the need is the same. The need, the tools are the same, and this standard is quite well organized. So it covers both product and process security. This is important. So within the company, you need to have the process properly defined in order to assure the fulfillment of security in the design and maintenance of the product. It's already a reference in the industry, as I was mentioning, and global procurement, energy, transport, manufacturing. It defines secure by design, default security, update policies, incident handling, and vulnerability disclosure. There are two parts of the standard. The IEC 6244341 is the secure development lifecycle, and the IEC 6244342 is the secure product. Is for the products. Okay, so it's separated in two parts of the standard. So now in Owasys we are working towards the IEC 6244341 to adapt our processes in order to fulfill this standard. So what have we done until now? Okay, so we had defined a complete secure demo application. As I was mentioning before, we are not offering the complete solution to the market. We are not closing the device and selling end to the end user. We are providing this product to system integrators, OEMs that want to have their own solution, the control of the products. But in order to support them and give our best there, what we have tried to do, okay, let's make a complete demo application. Let's study the standards. Let's define the secure solution. And with this, our customers will be able to reuse it. Okay, this is the idea behind trying to make your life as easy as possible. So we have tried to use most of the features available in the Owasys gateways regarding interfaces, functionality. We are covering a wide range of interfaces, LTE, Wi-Fi, Ethernet, CAN, vehicle communications, field buses, industrial protocol, Bluetooth, GNSS, and all this has been packed with the OADM also, because in the solution, it's one important thing that you need to be able to update the products securely, and this has been demonstrated through the OADM. You know that the OADM is a product that we have in the market since a couple of years ago, widely for all the customers, let's say. And we have had design security features that we will jump into details later about. What are we sharing right now? Okay, we are sharing the demo application, the complete documentation. If you are already customers of Owasys, you know that we have a developers area where you have plenty of information for our products. So if we come here to the cybersecurity topic, we have some information about RED. Please go through it. It's explained a little bit about the background here. We have also implementation, how we have done it. We have the operational environment. This is the document where we are defining how the devices are used, and this is what has been evaluated by DECRA. Okay, and going through an application that can work in all the platforms. So we have done it for the Owasys 4X basically, which is the platform that we launched earlier in the market, and there are some tasks to do by the customer system integrator, check the documentation, intended use, risk analysis, use RED compliance everywhere. So we have launched these OS versions of images for all the platforms, fulfilling on these cybersecurity requirements. And we have tried to add to these base images the most requirements as possible. Okay, so the customer has to do, the integrator, the development company has to do less effort in their side. Okay, so we have tried to add it as much as possible in our side. And here we have the customer security measures. This is if you are using our demo application scope, let's say, this you should be reading and checking that you do by yourself, because we cannot do it for you. They are well documented, structured, so you can go through them and you will be fulfilling with this the regulation. Okay, that's at least our recommendation. Please go through it. If you have any questions, come back to us. The support team is willing to help you through the assessment of your product and trying to help you fulfill the requirements. Okay, so this is an extract of the document I was mentioning before. Here we have the structure of the demo application. We have the physical interfaces in the bottom, LTE, SIM card, antennas, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, etc. And we have on the top the logical interfaces. Everything has to be defined, and we can provide this information for you also. It's already there in order to make the risk assessment and the evaluation. Okay. If in your case you are not using the Wi-Fi, you just remove all these parts and you remove several possible attack surface. Okay, you know that one of the biggest principles or easiest principle is to try to reduce the attack surface. See, if you are not using Wi-Fi, you have to have it disabled for sure. If you are not using something, disable it and close the device as much as possible. But that still is able to cope with the needs that you have. Okay, so in both of the regulations, directives, we need to make a risk assessment. Okay, this is really important. We need to establish which possible attacks we have, which risks we have, and which are the measures that we are going to implement. So here you can have different ways of doing, different policies. Probably in your companies you already have something. We are providing an example for the demo application. You can use the threat modeling that you prefer, Stride or whatever you prefer, but just make sure that you are checking the risk that can be behind using these devices. Okay. So risk management ensures that vulnerabilities are identified and mitigated for market release. This is the main task. And IEC 6244341 defines a structured approach to risk assessment in secure product development. So as you see here, RED only says that you have to make your own risk assessment. In IEC 62443, it defines how it has to be done, no? That you need to have a process for it and everything. Companies might define their own methodology in internal policy and apply it consistently. Okay, that's the idea. And that's what we are doing as Owasys. Okay, here is an example of the risk. You have mitigation measures, residual risk, and additional mitigation measures that could be applied. Okay, so you can go over these details in the documentation that we have in the developers area, and with this, you should be on the safe side. And please give us a call, and we will be happy to support you. So now I wanted to explain what is the end-of-line testing. Okay, because it's important that the product reach the market, reach the installation, reach the vehicle in a secure way. Okay, So how can we do it now? We are offering two possibilities here. Basically, the process is the same. It's the end-of-line test that we mentioned, or provisioning phase. And for us, it's a critical, a crucial security process. It can be performed by Owasys, as defined by customers at our facilities, or by the customer in a controlled and protected environment of their choice. Okay. The expected result of this is a secure device ready to run in secure mode and quality assurance that the device can be safely commissioned. Okay. So if you have the volume, if you have the project that you want to do it like this, you should talk with sales, and you could create an image, a software image with your application that is in factory mode. Why do we need to be in factory mode? Because you know that 100% of our units go through our tests. With the test stand, we have a sequence testing for 100% of the functionality of the product. Okay, so this needs to be in factory mode. And after we finish the assurance that the product is well manufactured, is working properly, we can enable the customer application, enable the end of line. Okay, and this process, what is going to be done is defined by the customer, by the integrator, by the OEM. Okay, we will install the antennas, we will install the SIM card, and we will connect the unit to power. In this moment, it will start operating, and the end-of-line process will be going through. It will be loading certificates in case of your unit. It will be connecting to the server. You remember that it's in a secure location still. And it will be making the complete provision. Once this is finished, it will connect to our factory broker, send that the device has gone through this process properly, and we can deliver to the customer. Okay. This device will leave Owasys factory completely closed. In the case that the customer does not want to go through this process and they want to do it by themselves, it's okay. We can send the devices with the base Owasys firmware, and they can load the secure image and make this process by themselves. We have an example of this, of how to do this process in the developers area. Okay, how the end of line should look like. Just a conclusion. What is the end of line? It's a power, security, and quality process. Okay, provisioning of device-specific settings and unique credentials. In this phase is when we are going to get the unique credentials in the devices, and when we are going to close the device with the firewall and everything. It's a final customer-defined test before commission, before putting into service. What is not? This is not a black box test. Okay. Tests are defined by customer based on the customer-specific use case. And the end of line is not a guarantee of security for Owasys, because the implementation of the measures are the ones that the customer is providing, is putting into place. Okay, for us, it's like a black box. It's a process that we are not controlling. We are just starting it and checking the result. Okay, so now let's jump into the OADM. Okay. The OADM is a product that we already have in the market. Its main functionalities are a remote diagnosis, remote updates of the devices, of the OA devices. We have a VPN connectivity, can be used to access the device remotely. It can be used to route to local networks and access PLCs or local controllers. It has a wide range of use cases, and it's also a security tool. Okay, so now here we want to show you a little bit why it's a security tool. So in order to upgrade the devices, we have the auto updates, signed and verified. This is really important. When you deploy an image, a software image into the device, it needs to be checked that it's signed by the proper developer, by the proper company, and it's verified that is the proper software. And here we have added two important features for us, because it is required now that we have unique password management, unique password in the devices. So we know that it's not something easy to keep on. So we have added this functionality to the OADM, where we can see the unique password of the device, we can change it, and we have the SSH certificates management also, in order to be able to access to the devices through SSH with certificates, not with user and password, which is less secure. So now I think we are going to jump into the live demo, and Pedro is going to help us with this.
Yeah, just one thing, but just one comment, Miguel. Thank you very much for all this. I mean, just to mention again what you just said. Okay, that at Owasys, we are doing, let's say, the end of life. I mean, what we are doing more and more for partners is that they are able to send us, let's say, the image of their application. They are able also to send us the SIM card, or for example, a micro SD card. Okay, and so we are when we manufacture the units, we can put your SIM in, if it's a standard SIM or a SIM on chip, for example, and we are doing this for manufacturing runs above 50 units, okay, for projects, and more we see that this is a service that really is very useful for the customers to release all of the work they have once they receive the unit. Okay.
Okay, so okay, good afternoon to all of you. Basically, as Miguel has told you, we have a secure demo application that is based on the OADM in order to make the auto updates and to make the end-of-line measures that we need to implement to secure the device. So for this purpose, we have the OADM that is as well is based on one tool that is the App Builder, that was created 2 years ago, just to add, for example, the OADM and to deploy standard images to the devices. Now we have added the cybersecurity layers in order to implement cybersecurity measures that depends on the customer, are not in the stock firmware, and apart from this, there are examples of the end of line. Okay, the OADM, for those who don't know which is based on, this is an application where we can see the whole fleet and the status of it. For example, we can see the health, and we can as well individually diagnose any device. We have general purpose with the alarms panel. We have the connectivity, where you can see, for example, the consumption, the status of the radio access technology, the signal strength, the APN, and SIM-ICC IMSI. As well, we can see the system, how it is, like the memory, CPU load, how is the board temperature, and the disk status. As well, we are able to make remote diagnostics with a cell remote that is limited to non-blocking commands. I mean, this is not suitable for editing files. There are as well several commands. We have a tab with the configuration, where we can add several configuration that is basically a JSON file, where we can define several actions if we change the configuration. And finally, we have the security, where this is part of the end-of-line process. So in the end-of-line process that we are speaking now, we are able to add the username, the password of this username, the root password, and SSH, and the authorized keys, either from the device or added from the App Builder files, from the configuration itself. So within the OADM, we are able as well to update over the air different versions. Like, for example, we can put here firmware, and we can select one. We are not going to do that because it takes too much time to do the demonstration. But for example, the auto update is secure enough, because we did with one. For example, in this case, we did a secure update. We tried with another Signet or another signature. So the system is going to give a failure and is not going to be updated. So every update is secured by design with certificates and with signatures that are made by the customer itself. So no one can do that for them. So it's secure and is one of the requirements from the RED directive. We are going to do a live demo with the VPN. For example, we are able as well to make a remote access and remote diagnostics. In this case, we enable the VPN, and now we can access to the unit. Here we are in the unit. Okay, now we are. But we have, for example, we are not able to do something like systemctl stop Pollux.net, for example, we are not able to do that. So we have to elevate the privileges to be super user. The standard password is, so if I put, I'm going to have okay, the authentication failure as expected. So if I come here now to the security, where we have it, we have this part, and we can copy. We come here, we paste, and we enter. So this is how it's looked like. And moreover, in the VPN, we have as well in the users part, in my account, that is, okay, if I can see it, maybe, okay. Here, I can edit the author keys. So it's, for those who are familiar with GitLab, for example, we can enter the several authorized keys, and later we can access to that. So in this case, we can put here, we can add more. So at the end, when we start the VPN in the device, there is a command that copies these authorized keys into the device. So in that case, that's why I have not to put the user password on accessing. Is accessing directly because there we have the SSH authorized keys. Moreover, in the measures, we have deactivated the passwords for the SSH, because this is another measure that is recommended to do this, and we do that in that way. So basically, this is the presentation of the live demo, and just that. So
thank you very much, Pedro.
Thank you very much, Pedro. I mean, just to like comment to just to add, I mean, that this webinar is focusing cybersecurity, whereas Pedro has been focused on that. But the OADM is a tool that we have developed to help customers that was too complicated for them to develop. We have a lot of customers that they develop their own device management, okay? But for those that, let's say, this is an extra task that they don't want to consider, I mean, the OADM, is let's say a finished product. We are having right now supporting over 50,000 units in more than 100 countries. Okay, and yeah, as Pedro mentioned, have VPN functionality there. You can do over there updates, full updates, delta updates, schedule updates, group updates. So I think it's a fantastic tool, and with covering all of the cybersecurity aspects. Okay, so if any of you have more questions, just contact them to Germany or Owasys, and we will be glad also to give you further information on this product. Okay, thank you, Pedro.
Okay, so I just go through my last slide, I would say. So the strategy for compliance and security by design. So one important thing to know, cybersecurity is mandatory. It's not an option, okay? We need to cope with it, both by regulation and by customer demand, okay? So now as we mentioned, we have CE, we already passed CE, and we are trying to support our customers in order to make their life easier towards this standard, the EN 18031. And now we are working directly with IEC 6244341 to certify our process secure, let's say, for CRA. We know that it requires expertise, and we can provide this to support you, to support our customers. We have the knowledge of this, and it's important also the knowledge of the use case, which is the domain of the customer. Okay, this is a joint task, a joint work that we can do together. It will involve process adaptations like incident handling, vulnerability disclosure, product lifecycle management, including updates. So we just all have to be prepared for this. Our system application is available for customers and showcases full feature set. Okay, so please try it, and we will be happy to support you there. And OADM has been deployed with the aim of a full product lifecycle management with reliable and secure auto upgrades at its core. So it's also a great tool. It's optional, it's true, you can use it or not, it's your decision. But if you go with it, just for you to be aware of, it has had cybersecurity in its core. So cybersecurity is a challenge, we know it comes at the cost, but we think it is really a big opportunity also. So looking forward to these tasks together. And if you have any questions now, I think it could be the time for them. Thank you very much for your attention. It has been a pleasure to have you all here.
Miguel, we have one question from Dominic. Will RED also apply retroactively to already deployed hardware? So what happens with the hardware that is already on field?
Yeah, no, it's the directive applies when you place the unit in the market, device in the market. So if it has been already placed, it only applied the regulation where it was at the level it was. So it's only for new products that we place in the market. It's the same for CRA.
Maybe for all of you, just to be aware, you can use the F&A section in the upper part of the Teams window to ask your questions if you have any. And yeah, by the way, thank you very much, Miguel, Pedro, Damaso. I think that was already a good wrap up that Miguel had in his last slide. But anyways, if anybody has any questions, we are happy to discuss. We have a few minutes left, so yeah, just use the opportunity and put your questions here in the F&A section.
Can be a lot of information, but be aware that if you want, when you revise this, when you go through the developers area, you can contact us and we can support you there, you know, as always.
I think that's actually the case. It's a lot of information, anyways. I'm quite happy that you were the one to explain the details.
Yes. Just one additional comment. As we see this RED and CRA from Owasys, we see this as an opportunity. We see this as an opportunity for hardware manufacturers as Owasys, for system integrators, for OEMs, for those that we want to do the things in the right way, okay, that we want to put some effort here and do the extra mile. I think we think this is a good opportunity also to differentiate from our competitors, okay, or from and I think that we are looking into this from Owasys from this point of view, okay, and we will be helping you also to be there.
Okay, we got some questions. So the first one from Dominic Lips is CAN bus has usually no encryption or authentication. How do you protect it? Yeah, that's true. So in CAN bus, we have different options. One of them is to have read-only solutions in our products. So you won't be able to write into the CAN bus that you are creating a firewall there, so you cannot
have any problem, but still you don't have authentication of the messages. So you won't know if someone is replacing the motor or a component in the vehicle. But this is the technology. This is some field buses have been designed many years ago, are not secure, and this cannot be secure. Okay, there are implementations with authentication and everything, and this can be done. Okay, the technology, the product can support it, but traditional canvas messages, as you mentioned, are not authenticated or encrypted. So you need to make the intended use, the risk assessment, and to say what you want to do. Have it in read only, accept the risk of having someone supplanted the identity, or whatever you decide. It's all within the risk assessment.
Also, from our point of view, from Owasys, also, and we get this request more and more, is we are also able to do CAN in read-only mode by hardware. So we are also able to provide you with the units for those projects that this could be a risk. I mean, also limited by hardware.
Okay, thank you. Then the next question by Juan is, how does the process work when vulnerabilities are discovered in components of the base system provided by Owasys?
Okay. So I can tell you nowadays, basically, we can be contacted in case you detect any vulnerability. Also, when we launch the releases now, we are checking the vulnerabilities that affect our devices. So these are the two sources of detection that we may have, both customers or us checking this. And basically, we evaluate the risk, we evaluate the CVE, and if there is a patch, we apply it. Okay. This is what we are going to make a process, internal process for the IEC 62443, with the clear time to provide the answer, the patch, and everything. During next year, also we will have to report it to the authorities. Okay, so nowadays you can contact us. We will be making in the usual release process. We will make a release note with the changes, and within the changes, we will have the cybersecurity topics.
Oh, there's another question. Juan, do you monitor CVEs?
Yes, we have started doing that. Yeah. So all the releases that we have launched in August, we have checked the CVEs for them. Yeah, before releasing. And later, this is a continuous process. Okay, it has to be monitored continuously. So we also do it internally.
Well, then if there are no further questions for now, then yeah, thank you for joining us here today. Yeah, thank you very much again, Owasys, Miguel, Pedro, Damaso, for having this webinar with us. I think it was a good chance to explain that a little bit further.
Thank you very much, Marius, for hosting the event and preparing everything. And as we said, I think if anyone has any further questions, just don't hesitate to contact us, and we will be glad to help.